What is going on, my fellow zombie slayers? It is Nelly B here, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Zombies Weapon Comparisons. In this series, I take two or more weapons from any Treyarch Zombies map and put them head to head for things like ammo, damage, availability, and at the end, I give you my personal veteran opinion on both. In today's episode, we'll be taking a look at every version of the standard ray guns. This includes the Regen, the Regen Mark II, and the GKZ-45 Mark III. I will, however, not be including the Alpha Omega Regen Mark II simply because those deserve their own separate video. I'm trying to cover all my bases in this one, so if I miss something, let me know in the comments below. I will also have the timestamps on screen for when I'm talking about each individual weapon and when I'll be comparing them, just in case you want an in-depth view on any specific one. Without further ado, let's begin. Starting off with the original ray gun, I'm going to show you this gun in game just so you can get a feel for how it looks, sounds, shoots, and reloads. This can be found on every map from World at War to Black Ops 3, every Black Ops 4 Aether map, those of which include Classified, Blood of the Dead, and Alpha Omega. First introduced in Nocturne Toten, this weapon is infamous for being the very first wonder weapon of the series. Its futuristic design, green laser beam bullet trails, along with its equally futuristic ammo type that works as an explosive on impact, immediately cemented this weapon, not only as a standout feature, but as a staple of the series from here on out. With the base version, you start off with 20 bullets in the mag and 160 in reserves. The damage works as follows. So for a direct hit to a zombie, the ray gun does a base 1000 damage and an extra 300 to 1500 splash damage to zombies within range. In game, this means you can one-shot zombies up until round 19 with the ray gun's max amount of damage. The range for the ray gun bullet is essentially infinite. This simply means that bullets can travel near endlessly, so you can hit a zombie from anywhere on the map as long as it's visible. The range for the splash damage effect, however, is much shorter, at around 3 to 5 feet from the surrounding blast. The splash damage also has the ability to damage you, so unless you have Flopper or a Gobblegum equivalent, then short range isn't your best bet with this weapon. Reload time is a flat 3 seconds or 1.5 with Speed Cola, but I must add that the ray gun has one of those weird reload animations where you cannot cancel it at all. If you don't know what I'm talking about, essentially reload canceling is canceling the animation of your gun's reload before it finishes. Usually this saves you a few milliseconds, but when you're running around zombies, that might be the exact amount of time between you mowing all of them down and them immediately downing you. Now, this is a quote-unquote feature missing from every ray gun we see. In order to reload any ray gun, you must sit through the whole animation. Again, this might not sound like much of a problem, but if you're used to reload canceling to get you out of situations like myself, this can easily screw up your whole run. The rate of fire is a smooth 181 RPM and it can be shot automatically. I cannot find the RPM for Double Tap or Double Tap 2.0 equipped, but I imagine it's about 30% faster. Now, unfortunately, on any map other than Der Eisendrache and Buried, you cannot just go and get this weapon. You have to get it from the box on every map. Luckily, it's not nearly as hard to get as the Mark II variant, especially on Black Ops 2 maps, but at the same time, it's the most iconic weapon in zombies next to the Tommy gun in PPSH. More maps should build Easter eggs around acquiring this weapon free of cost. That's just my opinion though. The recoil isn't too crazy. It doesn't do anything notable like push you back when shot, unlike the Mark II variant, but it does have a slight kick. This weapon has next to no penetration value, so no collaterals to be found. This weapon mainly relies on this splash damage effect. Moving on to the Pack-a-Punch variant, this weapon now becomes the Porter's X2 ray gun with a red ammo type instead of the regular green. The ammo count goes to 40 in the mag and 200 in reserves, and the damage is essentially doubled, allowing you to get one-shot kills up until round 26. Again, as long as all the direct damage and splash damage hit the zombie. The reload time, fire rate, and mobility stay the same. It's a basic Pack-a-Punch upgrade essentially. No fancy bells or whistles to be found. And from there, we move on to the Mark II. This weapon can be found on every Black Ops 2 map if you purchase the Vengeance DLC. It can also be found on every Black Ops 3 Zombies Chronicle map, which is my personal favorite version, simply because of how easy it is to get compared to Black Ops 2. And finally, all of the Aether maps on Black Ops 4, which include Blood of the Dead, Classified, and Alpha Omega. With the base version of the Regen Mark II, you'll start off with 21 bullets in the mag and 162 in reserves. I'll note that this is a burst weapon, so it will shoot 3 bullets with 1 pull of the trigger. This equates to 7 full shots in the mag and 54 in reserves. The damage on this thing is probably the best thing about it. A full burst or 3 shots will do 6,900 damage. That alone is enough to one-shot zombies in the body on round 29, but obviously you want the most damage possible. So what do headshots look like? Well, a full burst, 1 shot to the head with the Mark II does 50,000 damage, pre-pack punch by the way. That is enough to one burst zombies in the head up until round 50. I knew this already, but saying it again out loud is just insane. It was clear that Treyarch knew you'd run out of ammo in this thing before it stopped killing zombies. The reload time is slightly faster than the ray gun at 2.98 seconds and 1.49 seconds with speed cola. The Mark II has a fire rate of 500 RPM, but unlike the regular ray gun, this weapon cannot be shot automatically. I will mention though that with every version of the ray gun Mark II except for the Black Ops 4 one, this gun has insane recoil. With every shot of this weapon, you'll be pushing yourself into the exact opposite direction from where you're shooting. This is even amplified if you're not correcting yourself after every shot. The range is no different from the regular ray gun. As long as you can see the zombie, you can hit them without any damage reduction. The availability for this weapon is subpar, especially on Black Ops 2, but I've mentioned that countless times in this very video. In the later games, it gets easier, however, those games seem to have more weapons, so the percentages kind of equal out. When upgraded, the Mark II becomes the Porter's Mark II ray gun, with Porter obviously being the scientist who invented both the regular and Mark II ray gun. Just like the regular ray gun, everything here is doubled. The ammo is increased to 42 in the mag and 201 in reserves, or 14 shots in the mag and 67 in reserves, with 2 shots left over. Weird, huh? The damage is now 13,800, which is enough to one shot to the body up until round 37, as well as 100,000 to the head with the full 3 shots connecting. This is the craziest number. Not only is it one of the highest damage calculations in zombies we see for a single pull of the trigger without just being infinite, this is also optimal for one-shot headshots up until round 58. The recoil, reload speed, fire rate, and damage range all stay the same. All in all, a solid choice for high rounds, even if the ammo isn't the best. And finally, we have the GKZ-45 Mark III. Now, this one's a bit more different than the previous ones, and that's mainly because of its dual-wield nature. On the left, you have the GKZ-45. When shot, you're not going to get a kill unless you're below round 5. On any other round, you'll just be slowing them down. Move over to the Mark III, this is what's considered the ray gun part. It's about the size of the original ray gun, however when you shoot this, one bullet comes out in the form of a Mark II ammo. This means instead of splash damage, it'll penetrate through zombies. The ammo in this thing is just as weird as the rest of the weapon. In the black hole gun, we're given 3 shots in the mag and 15 in the ray gun. However, they have 158 bullets in reserves. That's right. Even though they shoot 2 different types of ammo, they share the same reserves. I guess this is less confusing when it comes to worrying about ammo. The damage in this thing is okay. Like I said before, the GKZ-45 does nothing to zombies unless you shoot them before round 5 or with the ray gun part of the weapon as well. Not only does the black hole actually look somewhat black now, it also slows zombies down on top of completely incinerating them. Now the damage on both of these weapons is unclear when it comes to number, however it's very obvious where they drop off. The regular Mark III, you'll be able to one-shot zombies up until round 25, and when combining both shots you'll be able to kill zombies up until round 30 with 1 black hole. The GKZ-45 operates as a semi-automatic weapon, meaning you'll have to press down the trigger each time you want to shoot. The Mark III operates as a fully automatic weapon, meaning you can hold down the trigger and it will keep shooting until the mag runs out. The mobility is pretty high. Usually these dual wield weapons are. Again, I couldn't find the numbers for this, but I assume the GKZ-45 Mark III takes about 3 seconds to reload, on par with just about every other ray gun. Now, the availability is about on par with the original ray gun. Obviously, this is only featured on Garage and can only be found in the box, but even then, getting this weapon is pretty easy. Moving on to the Pack-a-Punch version, we're greeted with the Maelstrom of Ares. Instead of the blue and yellow lights, we're met with the traditional red accents, glow, and ray gun ammo type. We now have 5 shots in the GKZ-45 mag and 30 in the Mark III. The damage is obviously increased. Now we're able to one-shot zombies with just the GKZ-45 up until round 10, and with the Mark III up until round 35, and get kills using one black hole up until round 40. Recoil, reload time, fire rate, and damage range all stay the same. This is the part of the video where I give my opinion based on the facts, and I'm going to say it right now. The Mark II is the best ray gun. I don't think this is a controversial statement, however, I'll elaborate. You see, I love the original ray gun. Even when I started going for high rounds and I realized it wasn't doing much, I still pick it up out of the box whenever I got it. The model, animations, and ammo type are just so unique even to this day. But unfortunately, past round 30, I wouldn't recommend the ray gun for anything but dogs and Nova crawlers. In most maps, you aren't able to protect yourself from the splash damage, so even in the earlier rounds, using this weapon can be tricky. Again, most of these are minor complaints. If you're simply playing the map, getting set up, or doing an Easter egg, the ray gun is a decent option depending on what map you're on. As for the GKZ-45, not only is this thing on one map, it doesn't even compare to the killing potential of the ray gun Mark II. I will admit, it's very fun to use, and even after it stops killing zombies with only one black hole, I would still recommend it for its ability to slow zombies down. With this, you can reload, buy a door, shield, pack-a-punch without fear of zombies attacking you right away. Again, the model, animations, and ammo top are all top tier, however, I simply can't recommend it because it's not going to kill nearly enough zombies in the later rounds. And finally, the Mark II. In my opinion, the animations and model are probably at the bottom of the list for ray guns, however, none of that is necessary when the damage is this good. Again, single burst headshots up to round 58, mobility on par with other ray guns, with the same reload time. Now, a lot of people will complain about the ammo, and that's perfectly fair, but when comparing it to the other ray guns, the ammo lasts longer simply because of how easy it is to get kills. The most straightforward data when it comes to comparing weapons and zombies. For example, on round 100, it'll take you 1,106 Porter's X2 ray gun shots to kill one zombie on round 100. That's over 4.5 pack-punched ray guns to kill one zombie. The Mark II, however, has enough ammo to kill 1.5 zombies on round 100. Now, 1.5 zombies may not seem like a big deal, but considering this thing doesn't do infinite damage, that's pretty damn impressive. All in all, every ray gun will provide you with an enjoyable experience. No two are more alike than the other, and that alone is a pretty impressive feat. I just want to thank everybody who watched until the very end of the video. Y'all are some beautiful ass, patient motherfuckers, I'll tell you what. Anyways guys, down in the comments below, let me know what your favorite ray gun is. Did I miss the mark completely, or did I hit the nail on the head? While you're down there, feel free to leave a like if you liked it, and maybe subscribe for future videos. At the moment, I'm working on a project unrelated to zombies as well as other zombies videos, so stay tuned for that. Anyways guys, enjoy your day, stay safe, and spread love. Peace.